Hey everyone, what's happened? So, Jose Mourinho is the new Tottenham Hotspur manager. Mauricio Pochetino gone. Before we even had time to process the information, they have got the special one being announced in the hot seat at Tottenham Hotspur. Mad, what a mad thing to do at the end of an international break when you could have done it at the start of an international break and had the best part of 2 weeks to get yourself prepared. Weird decision. Is it a good decision? Look, time will tell. If nothing else, what it's done is cemented Jose Mourinho as the Sam Allardyce of clubs who wish to get into the Champions League. And look, I'm joking a little bit, but there's a kernel of truth to that, in so much as, because you know what I mean by that. Sam Allardyce, pick your poison. Sam Allardyce, your Tony Pulis's, your David Moyes. You clutch your British managers who go on Sky Sports or beIN Sports or whatever and sing their virtues, maybe denigrate a couple of clubs who are potentially within the reach of their oily grasp. And then they come in when that club is struggling and their job is basically to steady the ship. They come in, they play some solid defensive football, they make sure the club doesn't get relegated, and then, maybe you get a little bit of fan optimism, but it's short-lived. Sound familiar? The difference, of course, with Jose Mourinho, he's playing at a completely different level to that. But it's a sensible shout in so much as Tottenham Hotspur don't win trophies. They don't. And I'm not looking to dig them out in any way, shape, or form. They just don't. They're not a club that's built on winning loads and loads of silverware. It's just the reality of what they've been. Mourinho is a manager who wins silverware, so his first and foremost protocol will be to come in and try and win something, just to continue to fluff up his reputation that he's had. I think there's a lot of diminishing returns of Mourinho, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think this is necessarily an amazing appointment. Because as much as, look at Man United, was he the right fit at Manchester United? He was never the right fit there. He was brought in as a Hail Mary to try and just sneak the one more title. Just break that post-Fergie duck of Premier League titles, and then you've got a team full of winners, and then you can get someone in for the long term and build from there. And look, yes, he won the League Cup, and yes, he won the Europa League in that spell, and I think the fans would have been dead happy. And I remember them. You've got trophies, you could hold them up there. And I've talked about Liverpool with the Champions League. They're a shield that you can use to defend against banter and hate and instability. Because they're tangible signs of success, and Spurs could probably do with a little bit of that. It's what you're getting in return. It's like it's like dancing with the devil to some extent. You might be getting short-term gains, but what does it do to the soul of your football club in the long term? And look, maybe Daniel Levy's just thinking, I'll worry about that in a few years' time. The major concern, looking at it, apparently they've offered him a 3.5-year contract. Why? Why are people still offering Jose Mourinho in excess of 2 seasons? Offer him a 2-year contract. We know it melts down in the 3rd season every single time. So just cut the legs off that. Just basically don't have him contracted. Have the building season where he really gets in the players' heads and he gets them up for the fight. And then they fall a little bit short because they may be lacking a couple of proper Mourinho players. And then, of course, he gets those players in and he's brilliant. And he normally wins the title after that, if he's backed correctly, which, again, I'm sure will be his argument against Ed Woodward and Manchester United. And then it all goes to shit, doesn't it, off the back of that? So just, Daniel Levy, just meant to be a shrewd operator. Why has he not just offered him a 2-year contract? He's got half a season as well. 2.5 years. I mean, there's a chance it might even go wrong in by the end of the second season or whatever. It's mad. It's a bit of a mad situation. 3.5 years for Jose Mourinho. Fine. I mean, the thing is, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. Apparently, they're paying him more in wages than they were paying Pochetino, which is crazy when you consider that squad and that team needed some real consistent investment over the last couple of years. Is a bit mad. But look, Mourinho does bring a track record, and he brings a degree of comfort. And again, this is why you got, for me, it's like the Allardyce comparisons once again. He's a steady pair of hands. Is he going to go above and beyond? Is he going to excel in that role? Like, is Sam Allardyce ever going to guide? He's handed the reins and take a team from relegation fodder to Europe. To my mind, I don't think he's ever done that. Is he ever really going to? Is Mourinho going to? it's a big ask to get into Europe already. You know, what, they're 9 points behind fourth at the moment. Now, they're only 3 points behind fifth, which would be a good start for them. But does, you know, on the other hand, it's probably early enough in the season that he could turn it around. He can get a tune out of them. You don't need to really put a long unbeaten run together, actually win some away games. It might be a good step in the right direction in that regard. I don't think top four is done and dusted, but above and beyond that, I just don't know how much more Mourinho can succeed if he's not given a lot of money to spend in this summer and probably the summer after that as well. Is he going to break the stranglehold of Manchester City? Now, you might argue, look, Spurs should really have been competing. They were my tip to be third in the league this season. They should have been, because they're the third best side, they're the third best squad. They had the third best manager, I think, in Pochetino. But something's obviously gone wrong there, whether it's just a lack of harmony in the camp and the manager himself maybe just losing his head or whatever, fine. So there's clearly something there for Mourinho to build on. Fantastic players. Kane, Son, if you can get Eriksen back up and running again, fantastic. They've got a brilliant team, they've got a brilliant squad, and they should be competing. But can they get beyond that? Can Jose Mourinho take them to make them title challenges? Because that's really the standards, and maybe the expectations have slipped because of how they've started the season. But for me, Spurs, if they finish anywhere below third, that's a massive failure. Now, Mourinho will be able to deflect from that because he's always going to have Pochettino to throw under the bus. It's the previous incumbent's fault why I started off in a handicap situation, is basically will be his defence if he doesn't do it. But he should be, but like by next season, they should be there or thereabouts. I think, you know, let me know your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree on that. But it feels an odd appointment. And I don't know who would have been better, if I'm perfectly honest, because I saw like Eddie Howe's name's trending immediately. And you hear Max Allegri, he doesn't obviously have the experience of the Premier League, which Mourinho brings, of course. Eddie Howe doesn't have the experience of taking that step up. It's mad because for me, where does Eddie Howe get his next job? Where does he get that opportunity? I think he's performed admirably as Bournemouth manager, plays a good brand of football, he's made some mad signings, and he has spent a lot of money comparatively at that club. But where does he get it? If he can't, he's not going to get his opportunity. Maybe United will be mad enough to do it. You know, God knows they've made some mad appointments, haven't they? Anyway. He's not going to get the Liverpool job or the City job, I don't think, straight off the bat. Spurs feels like a nice progression, but if he's not even being, if Mourinho's being considered for that, then I don't know. It feels like a relatively safe appointment, but I'm not sure it's what Spurs need. But then again, look, if any Spurs fans watching, would you trade that? Would you trade the brand of football that you're playing? Would you trade what you've had, which is being really exciting, competitive, but falling short, for a couple of pieces of domestic silverware? Maybe you would. And look, I can't know, because Liverpool have, you know, largely, even in their barren spell, I've always been okay at picking up silverware, so we've always kind of had that. Maybe I've taken it for granted. Maybe I underestimate how good an FA Cup or a League Cup is, of course. But yeah, I mean, look, you're not getting a long-term appointment in Jose Mourinho. Or maybe having had Poch for so long, maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need Mourinho as a little bit of a palate cleanser. He comes in, he instills some real discipline into the squad, possibly picks up a couple of, you know, pots on the way. And then Spurs are ready when you bring the next guy in. Maybe then that's Eddie Howe's chance. I keep mentioning him, like, I have no idea whether Eddie Howe's good enough to be a top-level manager, but I think you get my meaning in bringing him into this conversation, and maybe whoever's next. Apparently Julian Nagelsmann was touted, but they've gone a year too late for him. Who would be the next up and coming manager? Because I think that's what Spurs need to do. It shouldn't be underestimated, the job Pochettino's done there. Quite frankly, he's overachieved, massively overachieved. It wouldn't, and maybe that's what the thinking is. If you go and take a gamble on an unproven manager, or a manager that doesn't have the Premier League experience, you stand to really, really suffer if they don't hit the ground running, if they can't harmonise the dressing room, if he doesn't have the respect of the players within the camp, which again, just to throw Eddie Howe's name into it, maybe that would be the issue with that. At least with Mourinho, you're getting a proven top class manager, and hopefully for them the drop off won't be too significant. It's a gamble, but maybe it's a calculated gamble. And look, when you're talking about a guy who's won like 25 major honours in his career as a manager on, you know what, in 4 different countries, on paper, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having Jose Mourinho as the manager. It could prove to be a very, very shrewd appointment by Tottenham Hotspur. But for me, I I don't know. I think there's got to be a note of caution with it. My feeling is, and I thought this when Manchester United finished second 2 seasons ago. It was 2 seasons ago. They'd had the day. And I think the reason they finished high up the table was that the teams just around them didn't quite get their act together. It was a little bit too soon for Liverpool to challenge, and Spurs obviously being in the mix there or thereabouts. I feel like Mourinho's brand of footy's a bit done. You know, him and Benitez, I think, are cut of the same milk. They're very, very, very pragmatic, defensive-minded first, very organised, not particularly expressive in how they do things. And I don't know that I think that's got a ceiling to it. And look, the ceiling might well be guaranteeing Champions League. And that's what Spurs need to be able to keep the whole thing going over with the stadium and all that kind of thing. Then, yes, ultimately, any complaints that a bit need to be kind of put to one side, because that could be the most important factor in this. But yeah, if you're a Spurs fan, and what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, or if you're not, just let me know your thoughts in general. Weird. Look, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, everyone who got me to 100,000 subscribers. Check out the 100k subscriber special. It's an absolute belt. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Some of my random mates that I've made along the way asking me some very, very weird questions. And also, I've now got a Patreon, so if you want to get extended versions of the videos and behind the scenes stuff and loads of extra cool stuff involving me, if you're asked, I'll link to the Patreon. Go and check it out. The full version, the 45-minute-ish version of that 100k special is there right now, and all the extra bits and pieces on the way. So hopefully I'll see you there. Other than that, nice one, everyone. Have a boss day.